The most expensive production motorcycles in the world. Trizzle started it 2 weeks ago with the 10 cheapest motorcycles, so in honor of Donald Trump and Mo's whole more is more philosophy, I hereby offer the 15 most expensive new bikes of 2017. Determining the most expensive motorcycles is slightly more complicated than you might imagine. Many of the priciest machines simply aren't available at your local dealership for a clearly determined MSRP. And then there's the completely custom motorcycles you can have built for yourself by boutique shops like NCR and a few other high-end builders, which don't truly qualify for production bike status. While not a boutique shop, OEMs like Aprilia and BMW are also getting in on the high-end sport bike game. BMW, for example, teased us with the all-carbon fiber HP4 Wraith at EICMA 2016. It's still in the prototype phase, however, and pricing hasn't been set. Meanwhile, Aprilia has gone and introduced the Factory Works program to purchase race bikes based on the RSV4 direct from the factory that conform to rules for various national and international racing organizations worldwide. Packages start with the basic superstock build at €24,600, roughly $26,000 at current exchange rates, all the way to €160,000, nearly $170,000, for the RSV4 FWGP, which boasts more than 250 horsepower at the crank, pneumatic valves, dry clutch, and a highly sophisticated electronics and data acquisition package. And while the RSV4 is a production bike, the bikes and components used for the Factory Works program are built strictly for racing. Road legal componentry, along with registration paperwork, are not included or even offered. To prevent this list from being filled with models from just a couple of manufacturers, we've decided to limit it to just the most expensive model from the various OEMs represented here. We'll start with the cheapest expensive bike. 10. MV Agusta F4CC. They used to build a Claudio Castiglione version that was closer to $100,000, but now it looks like the most you can spend for an F4 is $46,000 for the RC, which looks just like Leon Camir's Repardo Course WSB Racer and almost acts like it, with 212 horsepower and many special bits and pieces. Each of the 250 built will come with a race kit tucked away in a tasty wooden box that costs more than most people's bikes. For all that, the base model F4 is surprisingly affordable at only $19,798, fully equipped with a radial valve 998cc4 that spins all the way to 14,000 revolutions per minute and 195 horses. The RR is nice too. For just $26,798, MV throws in titanium connecting rods and Allen's electronic suspension. 9. Lightning LS218. The most expensive electric bike you can't quite buy is the Lightning LS218, which also claims to be the world's fastest production motorcycle thanks to its 218 mph run at Bonneville a few years ago. It also won the Pikes Peak Hill Climb in 2013, beating all the ice bikes, as well as a bunch of other e-bike race wins. Pricing starts at $38,888 and rises to $46,888 for the upcoming version with a 20 kWh battery purported to yield a range of 160+ miles. Even the cheaper model claims a usable freeway speed range of more than 100 miles and a combined city and highway EPA range of over 150 miles, and the gas savings alone would probably pay for the bike eventually. The only downside is that Lightning doesn't seem to have delivered any of them yet. However, its business development manager, Dave Swak, tells us that they are constructing 50 LS218s this very month, and that future buyers will receive their new bikes within about 120 days of ordering. 8. Bimota BB3. No list of expensive exotics would be complete without a Bimota, would it? The latest from Rimini is the fastest ever, and only by Moda's third collaboration with BMW. The BB3 rates its S1000RR 4-cylinder at 200 horsepower, adds all the high-end components and craftsmanship Moda is known for, and says the whole compact package weighs in at 395 pounds, dry. As we warm up through this listicle like a frog in a gradually heating pot, $54,000 doesn't seem like all that much anymore. Hand me that loofah, will you? 7. Kawasaki H2R. You can't leave your estate on this one as it's not street legal. You need to make sure your valet has the tires on warmers prior to every ride, and the engine needs servicing every 15 hours of running above 8,000 revolutions per minute. Those quibbles aside, its supercharged 4-cylinder makes the H2R probably the fastest two-wheeled conveyance in the world, and its carbon fiber fairing, mirror-coated matte paint, and all the rest of its swinged victory styling make it a keeper. The 2017 model, updated with a 6-axis Fashimu, Allins TTX shock and auto-blipping downshifter, retails for $55,000. 6. Hesketh Valiant SC. Stand back Confederate and Keanu Reeves. While the Arch KR GT1 and Confederate bikes might cost a bit more, Hesketh Motorcycles, née Lord Hesketh, is building its own S&SX wedge-powered motorcycle, but this one displaces 2100cc, and every one of those 128 cubic inches is force-fed by a Rotrex supercharger, resulting in a horsepower claim of 210 at 5,500 revolutions per minute. Trying to keep things as British as possible, the beast uses K-Tech suspension, Hesketh's own brakes and wheels and other locally grown components. Quite a bargain at just £50,000, a mere $61,033.75 as I ogle it today. 5. Energica Ego 45. It's a pretty specific type who gets on board with the Energica Ego 45. Someone who likes sport bikes, but wants an electric version, and is an early adopter to new technology. Oh, and you need to be wealthy and have a penchant for exotic materials. If that's you, then the Ego 45 is calling. As far as the numeral goes, the 45 describes the first 45 Egos to roll off the production line, each signified with a plaque mounted on the upper triple clamp. Those bikes are outfitted with electronic upgrades including GPS integration, Bluetooth connectivity and a smartphone app. Mechanically, the 45 gets Allins suspension, Oz-forged aluminum wheels, a 20 kilowatt fast charger, carbon fiber bodywork, and a host of 3D printed components. The price for all this electric bling? A cool $68,000. 4. Arch Motorcycles KR GT1. That guy on the orange motorcycle? That's Keanu Reeves. Yeah, that Keanu Reeves. The motorcycle he's riding? It's an Arch KR GT1, and it's a motorcycle you can buy for $78,000, thanks to a venture between KR himself and business partner, motorcycle builder Gard Hollinger. True, a few celebrities have lent their names and support to motorcycles before, but Reeves is a true enthusiast of the sport, and the KR GT1 is an attempt to blend classic Americana with modern components. A 2,032cc S and ST124V twin pumps out a claimed 121 horses and foot-pounds, and is surrounded by aluminum billet componentry, adding a touch of flair and class to the KR GT1 without much weight. Top-shelf suspension and brakes make the KR GT1 plenty sporty for a cruiser. If you're the rich type who would like some of the luster of a celeb's motorcycle brand rubbing off on you, give Arch a look. 3. Suter MMX 500. Swiss madman Eskil Suter was right there in the thick of the 500cc GP wars in the 90s, even if he spent most of his time on a Honda RS 250. All the fumes affected him enough that he decided the world needed to revisit that era, in the form of the MMX 500, cheating only slightly by using a 576cc V4 two-stroke with counter-rotating crankshafts, capable of 195 horses and 13,000 revolutions per minute. That's a significant amount of horsepower, but the really significant number with this track-only device is the claimed dry weight, 280 pounds. The last impressive number, $118,565, 120k Swiss francs, is really only significant if you don't have it. Oh well, they're only building 99 of these anyway. 2. Confederate G2 P-51 Combat Fighter. Brutal, minimal, and built to last, reveal, and transform. Fresh superabundant energy, force and power is breathed into the world's rebel motoring culture, as envisioned and created, one machine at a time, by the fiercely independent hot rod giants upon whose shoulders we so proudly stand. As a salute to those gentlemen we so greatly revere, we are honored to offer the most primal example of raw American power it is possible to create. Nothing announces to the world that you're a badass quite like a Confederate motorcycle, and if you're a badass with $140,000 burning a hole in your wallet, then the second-gen P-51 Combat Fighter is the bike for you. For that price you'll get in return a motorcycle inspired by the famous warplane, constructed entirely of 6061 billet aluminum, right down to the engine block and heads. Confederate says its proprietary monocoque is the stiffest, most fatigue-resistant and lightest chassis capable of housing the greatest amount of torque as a percentage of weight ever achieved in all of motordom. With a statement like that, how could you not want one? As far as specs go, the P-51 is powered by a 2,163cc V-twin pumping out a claimed 145 horsepower and 160 pounds-to-foot. Suspension is the double wishbone variety with a single shock keeping the front end down. Another fully adjustable shock sits in the back. The eyes are drawn to the distinctive styling and attention to detail of any Confederate, and the P-51 will garner plenty of attention. From its carbon fiber wheels, to its quadruple front discs, the P-51 is bold and makes a statement wherever you go. Of course, you should also be prepared for shouts of midlife crisis as well. Alternatively, you can drown out those cries with the rumble of your exhaust. If $140,000 for the black version above is too steep, the P-51 is also available in its natural aluminum color for $125,000. A steal.